Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck. Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Matilda Swift, here with my co-host Samantha Cummings, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over a dozen books between us and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along to our mastery through missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way. This week we're planning a whole writing year. Before that, what are your wins and whinges of the week?
I'm tired, that's my whinge. It has been noticed that I disappeared last week, I don't even know where I am. I just had I had a really busy week and I was really tired, so I had to disappear and become, mist over trees.
Trees, yeah.
my normal, my usual state. And I just was so tired I had to stop doing stuff to make sure I didn't get ill again, because I really felt like I was going to get ill. But it was really, I felt bad about it. Like, I was really frustrated because I'm currently writing and I'm really enjoying writing, but I'm also not writing as much as I want to because I'm just so tired. But I decided not to get angry at myself because it's a self-imposed thing that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I just let myself relax and spent time doing other stuff that was worth doing. So I, instead of writing for hours after work, thought that I'd just have a bit of fun creating Pinterest templates that I could use to start my Pinterest extravaganza takeover that I'm going to do. I just really wanted to get more into Pinterest and try and use it as another form of social media that was just a little bit different, that isn't all about how many followers you've got and how many times you interact with people. So I spent the last week doing that, and it's been really fun and I really enjoyed it. So that was my win, is that I shifted my perspective, took some time to do some other stuff, which feels like it was creative enough that I feel inspired by. I love Pinterest. Pinterest is where I get all my good ideas and visuals and stuff. So I feel like I have done well with that. And my win of the week is I went to Alton Towers yesterday. I feel like I'm always saying
Which is a theme park.
The theme park that I feel like I've only been a few times in the last year, but I feel like I talk about it all the time.
It is really
good. It's so good. It was so cold though, but it was so much fun. Even though I've been on all the rides many times, I'm still terrified every single time. And my sister can't understand it. She doesn't get scared of going on rides. And I'm absolutely the opposite. Then? I'm so scared. And that's what I said. What's the point? And she was like, well, I just enjoy it when I'm on it. I don't understand. She has no build up to it. She's just in a queue and then she gets on a ride. I don't know. We're very different people. We're insanely different people. But she couldn't understand why I was so scared. But it's much more fun to be scared of something and then overcome it.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And maybe I make myself more scared. Yeah, I do think sometimes I make myself more scared just for the drama, for the excitement of being in that mindset. Yeah.
I was thinking this today. I was like, what do people do who don't have an overactive imagination? Because I was in my co-working space, in my new co-working space, and there was a spider on the inside of the glass and a very similar looking spider on the outside of the glass. And I thought, what if they're best friends and they've become separated somehow and they just build their webs near each other so they'll live and die together but never meet again? I was like, what do people do if they don't have an excessive imagination? They just sat there looking at spiders.
Sad. Well, yes. So my sister. I do often kind of tease her because we once talked about the inner monologue thing about whether some people don't have it. And she said that she didn't have it, and then she quickly backtracked when I was disgusted. She she
That's
didn't.
horrifying.
She then said she does have it, but she doesn't pay attention to it. So that is the difference between us. Yes, that's the difference between us, is that
What's she doing in her head all the time then?
I don't know. She's so different to me.
She
so
seems
funny.
so normal, and I'm suspicious.
She seems very normal, and she is. We do have the same ish personality.
Too normal, maybe.
Yeah, she's really funny, but because she's so normal, and that makes her weird. I don't know. It's we're so different, and I think it's hilarious that that her inner monologue is basically quiet. Like she doesn't pay attention to it. And I'm just like, everything I look at I think about it, and then I spiral, and then it starts a song in my head. You know, like I'm like the classic, got 20 tabs open in my brain at all times. Yeah, I don't know how other people live their lives.
Yeah,
and that's really sad. It's actually just made me think of when we were talking about his Dark Materials, and it's like their Will and Lyra.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yes. We've had an extensive pre-chat today. It was excellent, but also we've talked about a lot of stuff. But still more to talk about, I think. Was that your wins and wins of the week?
Yes. Okay. I'm very tired and might sound very croaky, so you go.
Okay. So as I was saying, I was in my co-working space today. So it was my first day in. We've got a local town hall, which is not really town hall, it's community space, which means the co-working is very cheap. I would say almost nominal, and it's 2 minutes from my house, and it's got like a beautiful view, like at this phenomenal old mill building and a river, and enough people passing by to sort of be interesting but not distracting. And I was sat there, and it just felt really good to sit there and work. And another friend of mine who's from my writing group but was there for her actual day job, she co-works there for her day job, was doing day job work, and I was like, oh, I'm really glad that's not me. And it just made me really appreciate my choices and what I'm doing right now. And obviously, I think, as I mentioned many times, the intro to our podcast is about quitting the day job, and I've quit my day job to live off my savings. So I'm not currently living off my writing, but I'm working towards that. And I felt really nice and productive, and I was working hard all day. And that was really good. So like, big win is just that, like, I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the thing I wanted to do, and it is really good. Do I have any whinges? I mean, apart from the spider trauma that I'm going to be thinking about. Hopefully tomorrow they'll have cut through the glass somehow. Or maybe they're enemies and they're taunting each other with like great webs. So I don't want to move them or interfere with this, just in case.
Yeah.
Yes, I also had a lovely afternoon tea yesterday. My sister-in-law is about to go away to Taiwan for 6 months because they're having their baby over there. And so we had a really nice afternoon tea. I made lots of biscuits on big win of the week. My triple-decker cooling rack. Feel like a very super cool person. But honestly, win of the week. Yes, and I've also just spent... I mean, that is a big win because like I've done so much baking since I quit. I've made maybe like 3 cakes. I'm on my second batch of tea cakes today, and spent a weekend making biscuits. And it just feels like I can breathe again, and like I've got work-life balance. And you know, today I went and did. I took a long lunch, and I prefer a long lunch. Like a long lunch, and did some errands, did some food shopping, got the stuff I need to do. It's been delightful. So yes, all wins, no whinges, apart from spiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about that a lot. Those poor.
I'll tell you how they are tomorrow.
Maybe they love it. Maybe they love it. Maybe it's like such a good romance for them, just seeing each other
like
through the glass.
Best friends, and one who likes warm weather, and one likes cold weather, and they're like, let's live together, but apart.
Yeah. Or maybe.
But it is concerning that my first thought was negative. Like
maybe they think. Maybe they think it's a mirror and that they're looking at themselves.
Yeah. Okay, a lot of good options. Yeah, I'll find out. I'll investigate further.
Yeah. Right, so the topic of the week is that we are making our 2026 writing plans. Do you usually make a plan for the year ahead?
No. Or not. I think because my strategy for writing is just like write as much as possible, as quickly as possible, and then make slightly overambitious goals so that you are always up against a deadline and therefore always working as hard as you can. That's my usual tactic, and that is not great. And it also means that I just sort of like last year, well, the year we're in right now, I planned out the beginning of the year, and then I was just like, and etc. We'll see what comes.
Yes.
And and that was it's been sort of useful because it meant I think I added a novella in. I think I had maybe already confirmed the co-written book, but maybe I got that partway through the year. And then I've also added another novella in for the end of the year. So useful, but could be better. And just sort of means that my only strategy is like, oh, I've got more time. Let me write another book. Whereas I would prefer to have better sense of my schedule. Um,
Yeah.
so yes, no, but I will do from now on. How about you?
I did this year. Usually before like the last year, I wasn't really doing anything to a schedule. It was just write a book and then maybe release it whenever it's done. Like, I wasn't really setting myself any targets. This year I did do that. So I decided that I wanted to publish 2 books. I set the dates and I achieved them. And I really like how that worked, and I really like to have a deadline, so it does actually make it a lot easier for me to have something to be working towards. So I've only done it once for real, and I'm excited to do it again for next year because I don't know, I just really need to like have something not set in stone, but something doodled or spray painted onto a stone that could be painted over and then re-sprayed later on a stone further down the road.
What is the danger for you? So the danger for me if I don't have a schedule is like I just constantly add more and more and more into my plate until I feel like I'm going to burn out because I don't know how to like organize myself otherwise. What is the danger for you without a schedule?
Of the opposite. If I don't have a schedule, I will do less and less and less. And it's not like I wouldn't stop working because I'm always working on a book and I've always got an idea to write and I've always got like the next thing to work on. And I would just I think I would just get distracted by all the shiny ideas that I have rather than, and this has been the thing for like my whole writing career up until we started doing this, was just like the next shiny idea, never finishing the things that I'd started. So I think I would just easily be distracted and never quite finish what I'd started, which is, my life. I feel like that's like the whole, I think all of my teachers at school would say the same thing. Like, she starts off really well and then she just doesn't ever finish what she starts. So I know that about myself. So I really do appreciate setting myself a target and just working towards it and telling people that that's what I'm doing. Because I think that's probably a big deal as well, is telling other people what I'm doing, like putting up pre-orders and things. Because without a pre-order, again, what am I working towards? Nothing. I would probably just release 1 book a year and I would be sad about it. Which, it's like that. It's not a big deal. A lot of people only release 1 book a year, but I'm trying to build rather than take away.
Yeah, it's hard to build a big enough that list at that rate. Yeah, I was going to say something then, but I forgot what it was. About schedules and finishing things. No, oh yes, I'm going to call back. So earlier today, I was listening to our episode from last week on strategies, and we were talking about turning tactics into strategies, and that like for a long time when you're starting as an indie author, often you just look at different tactics, like just small things to try and see how they work, and you can't really build a strategy because you don't know what you're good at, what works for you, what works in your genre. And I feel like it's the same with schedules. So when I very first started self-publishing, I did have a schedule. I forgot that. And I had a really good schedule. I was going to release 3 crazy mysteries, and then I got my 4th one. I got the date for that, and then I was going to build up kind of a regular schedule from there. And while I was writing the first ones, there was a very intense set of protests in Hong Kong that were like incredibly disruptive to day-to-day life and like quite stressful. But I kept going on my schedule through that, and I even went to a hotel on the other side of where I lived, and stayed there for a week just to write and finish something and stay on schedule. I was like, oh, I feel really good, stayed in my schedule. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, you know what, the schedule thing is not for me. And in fact, even then, I really tried to stay on schedule, and I wrote 2 books both of which were not good, and one of which I managed to rescue because it was like in the middle of a series. I could rescue it and rewrite it, but it took a lot of work, and like I had to print the whole manuscript out and like lay it page by page on the floor and like get in the book. That's maybe the biggest edit I've done. And the other one, I've rewritten the whole book several times and I still can't figure it out, and I feel like it's just a write-off. And yeah, so I think from then on I really felt, not even consciously, but like I really just wasn't making a schedule. I was just like hopping around trying different things, not quite able to figure out like, is there a benefit to rapid releasing? I couldn't tell because I had rapid release really non-ideally and then not continue from there. Is there a benefit to having a schedule? I don't know, because I tried it and it didn't work. So like I just had not good data, and then I was like, oh, I should start a new series because I want to learn some different things about how to do it. I didn't think enough about that because again I was like hopping around. So this series now is like the first time I'd really tried to consciously even like release books to a specific schedule, like have rapid release.
Yeah.
But even then, I didn't really make a good plan for what I was going to do after it. So I had like the books out in February, March, April, and I didn't. I mean, partly I didn't want to commit to like a long series in case it didn't advertise well. Like maybe I'd like really gone down the wrong path. It wasn't going to do well. I didn't want to say like I'm definitely going to do 9 books and they come out on these dates, because like what if the first 3 just absolutely tanked? And then one thing I've struggled with for next year is thinking like, if I do want to plan my whole year, because I need to know like I want to write in a burst fashion. So I have, we found that on the retreat, like I found it really beneficial to like in 1 week and a long week with 2 long weekends out the side, write the first draft of a book. And that really works for me. It keeps everything in my head at once. It makes it more fun to write. It makes it a better book to write. And it also is the best use of my time. So that was really good. But then if I'm going to book all those sessions in, so I'm booking in some sessions to write like that with some other writers who write in the same way. So then I'll have 6 retreats next year. I kind of want to plan what I'm going to write in those retreats and figure out, do I need to have more sessions away from those groups? And like how many books do I want to write? What series do they belong in? It feels tough to think about next year and like not. I was trying to figure out like, could I have some sessions that are open and then they're either continuations of this existing series, if it does well enough to continue, or they're not and they're a new series. But I just couldn't find a way to have enough data early enough, because I want to have books on a rolling production schedule. So say I want to be writing like a draft of one book in March, that's the book that might not be out until May. But if I've already advertised and found out by the end of March that series is continuing, it's like, well, I've written the book now and it's out in May. So then like, when do I make a decision about whether to continue the series or not? So anyway, so I went back and forth on that for a bit, and I was like, oh, I think I'm just going to commit to saying there are 9 books in this series. Because I was almost thinking about like, should I do 7 and make 7 a draft where I could change it to be like a definite ending, or I could change it to be a not definite ending. I was like, actually, that just feels like a real unpleasant pain to write. Like this open-ended book that I decide, and I really give me like a month's leeway, a month's grace to figure out like how am I going to end it. I was like, I'd rather just have 9 books. No, there's going to be 9 books. I could change my mind during the year. Like I could really decide like during the year, I'm just absolutely not going to do it. But I just can't see a way in which it's beneficial enough from an advertising and like planning standpoint to leave those 2 slots open. So I'm going to do 9 books in that series. I'll already be at 6 by the end of this year. Maybe 6? Yes, 6 by the end of this year. And there's a prequel novella as well. So 6, including one of those in novella. And then just add 3 more next year. And it means I've got like 3 box sets. The 9 book is like an arc that I'd already planned. So it means I don't have to kind of do any rethinking and replanning. But it does feel like that was a big tricky thing about like when I was trying to plan, is figuring out, what about books if I'm not sure I want to write them? Have you got books like that in your schedule?
That's definitely probably the downside of you writing so many books, like because our schedules are so different. So you're going to be doing like 9 books and I'm only releasing 2. So you have your like whole thought process is you have to be able to plan a lot and also potentially change a lot, like on like a knee-jerk kind of thing, whereas mine's like a very slower pace for just doing 2 books a year. So I'm like, for anybody listening to this who thinks like, oh my God, that's so many books, like, don't worry, I'm not writing that many
They're
books.
really short. They're like a third of the length of yours, right? So we're probably not writing that many different in terms of word count.
Yeah. So mine's obviously a very slow process compared to that. So I don't have to really worry about making too many decisions at this point. I know that there's going to be, I'm doing 3 books in my current series, and will leave the 3rd book on a cliffhanger enough. Like, I'm going to wrap up the story enough that it's like interesting, but try and leave a little bit open, like I did with my werewolf series, like there's where there'd be room to write some more if people so wanted it. So I could always kind of go back and write some more books if the series picked up. So I already know like my next 2 books next year are going to be in the same series that I just launched. So there's not like, I don't have a lot to think about in terms of that.
Is there no chance that you would get to book 2 and be like, it's just not advertising and I'm going to drop the series?
No, I don't think so. Not at this point. I feel like I need to stick to my guns because I'm trying to build a backlist, and I've relaunched my career with like my new pen name and stuff. I'm just gonna believe that the series will do well, and
that's what I do in my 9. I was like, what's 2 more at this point?
Yeah, like I think I know we talk about being like strategic with our writing and everything, but I like this series is a strategic project because I picked a book in a genre that I know is popular. So if I've already done that, that's already like my most strategic thing that I've ever done. I'm just happy to like see it through to the end, and the end is that 3 books isn't really the end. It's just the line in the sand, because if it picks up then I can do more. So I'm happy to do like 3 books and then see what happens if I need to cut my losses and stuff. So yeah, I'm okay to give the like 2026 over to this series, because I think as much as I really want to grow and become a huge success and like release loads of books, I know that I can't do it faster than I'm already doing it at this point in my life, because it's still I do get swept away in, we've talked about this before, in like the fact that I can already imagine the future in which I'm already successful, and I get really antsy and annoyed that I'm not there, and I'm really trying to be a good girl and think to myself like, well, it's coming, you can't rush it, like you have to do the work no matter what, and you can only do the work at the pace that you can do it right now. So I'm trying to be super zen about my process and my scheduling, and I've already come leaps and bounds in the last year than I have done in the previous like 12, 13 years that I've been writing. And I think you mentioned it before about knowing your times, which helps you be able to like plan your year. But over the last 2 years, I've really figured out how long it takes me to write a book, how long it takes me to edit a book, how long the book needs to be with an external editor, how long it takes me to get a cover made. I've really nailed. I say nailed. I feel like I understand the full process more than I ever have done. And like, I can't discount the fact that it's because I spent 10 years, not 10 years, but like roughly 10 years doing it on a less extreme scale. So every book that I wrote, I never really thought about how long it was taking me to do it, but I still have learnt lessons along the way. Like I still, and probably, I'll talk about like the fact that it's November. Like NaNoWriMo really helped me figure out that's the first thing I learned really, was I know how long it takes me to write a book. So that's always been like my good starting point, is that I know in November I can write a book. And I think that's probably why I wanted to talk about this in the like now for this episode, is that it's currently November, I'm writing a book and that really is the setup for my next year. So November, the book that I write in November is generally always the one that I want to release next. And it's nice to have a time of year where you know you're going to do the work and have that influence what's going to happen to you in the next 12 months. The thing that's different this time around is that this is the first time, 2026 will be the first time where I'm going to be writing a book and releasing it in the same year, which sounds mental, but I usually just have always had a backlog. So I've always been releasing a book that I've already written and releasing. And this is the first year that I will be
We're always
having
releasing a book before you've written.
Yes, yeah, but will be the first year where I write a book and release it, like, I don't know how to describe it, like, as like the next
Immediately
thing.
Afterwards. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, because I'm usually like in arrears. Like I'm usually like because I've got so many books on the back burner that I've written from previous NaNoWriMos that I'm just kind of like just pulling from my backlist and releasing it. And this is going to be the first year where next year I'm going to have to write a book in summer to release in autumn, and I've never done that before.
Oh.
And I'm like, can I write in the summer? I've never written a book in the summer before. Like I'm an autumn writer, and I don't know. Like that's like my real panic is thinking like I've never written a book at a different time of year. It's usually just like autumn and winter that I'm writing books. And it's so weird. It's such like, it doesn't mean anything. I can write a book whenever, but it's sheer habit that next year I'm going to be writing a book.
Summer ones.
I never do summer. No. And I always think like, oh, writing in summer? No thanks. So I was doing my schedule and I was like, oh yeah, write this book. I'm like currently finishing a book now that I'm going to be releasing in June. So I like know my whole editing process until then. And then I get to June on my little like list that I've made, and it's like, release the book. And then the next thing is start writing the next book.
Oh.
And it's like, but that's in June? How dare I? Well, like I just don't understand.
What would you have normally done? Just like not written until November?
I would normally have, if I was releasing 2 books, the books that I write in November would be released like later on the next year. Yeah, so I've always been working like one behind. I'm really bad at describing time and stuff, but I basically just write in November, and I've written so many books that I've just been able to just slip them into a schedule. And and still to this day have books that I want to release that already like I've written them, and they just need editing to go out, and they're still like they're in my current genre, and they are still like a trending genre. So like I have like 3 series that I could release, start the first book now. So yeah, I've got a really big backlog. I'm just trying to get them out, and yeah, but I can't get distracted by those things. I have to finish this series, so I've got to write a book start writing a book in June.
Finite. It's disappointing.
Yeah, it's going to be so different. The one thing that I haven't really figured out is when I'm going to fit in my novellas, because I have a few novellas that I want to write, and that's still something that I don't really have a good grasp of that, because to me novellas don't feel legitimate enough to need to spend time writing them. I kind of look at them as side projects rather than important parts of marketing, which is just me. Like it's completely me.
What's the word count difference between your novels and novellas?
My novellas I tend to do about 20,000 words, and my novels are 90,000. Sometimes more. Sometimes between like 90 and 120, depending on how brutal I am with my edits. So I know, like I write long books because I really like big fantasy worlds, and not extreme fantasy. Like they are, I never think of what the word is, but like paranormal fantasy. So it's like it's in the real world, but I just really love building worlds. So I write a lot. I love to write a long second act, and as much as I try not to, it's just there. Yeah, so it's definitely going to be different next year, and I've written myself a schedule, and I understand the process of time.
But I was going to say, how related to real time, human time is this schedule?
It's pretty decent. It's not out of the realms of possibility. I think it's like a comfortable schedule for me. Because I know how long it takes me to write a book. The editing process, I think, needs to be tightened up a bit. But that's because I really love to not edit enough at the start and then panic towards the deadline and edit more. that's something I need to work on, and that's what I want to work on next year, is editing as much as I can earlier on. But I know in myself that I just get more like, if I don't have the deadline, if the deadline's not close enough, I don't feel stressed. I think we're a bit
me
all
either,
like
which
that.
is why
like,
this is why I publish many books, because like otherwise I just dawdle.
Yeah, I definitely dawdle in my edits, but I plan on not doing that next year just by sheer will. I don't know.
I don't believe
know if
that's
that'll
an
work.
option. I mean, if it is an option, let me know, because I've not so far found that option.
I'm really good at self control, and I want to believe.
But
that
the
I can
issue
do
is
it.
like, why would you go fast at the beginning? Like, do you have something else in your schedule that you're going to put in that space? Because I can write as much as I need to do to meet the deadline set myself, right? And I will just work as hard as I need to meet that deadline. And then if my deadline is like a month, I'll take a month over and I'll be slow at the beginning. If my deadline's 2 weeks, I'll finish it in 2 weeks and I'll just work harder. So like, how are you going to convince yourself it's worth working faster? Because like, you could be
because
relaxed.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I'd rather feel relaxed towards the end than relaxed at the start. Because my last book that I edited, and I really went too slow at the start and didn't take it seriously enough, because I thought, oh, I've got a couple of months to edit this book, no big deal. And then it gets to the last 2 weeks and I realize I've like not even hit halfway. So I didn't like that feeling. That was like an awful feeling to have, and to realize that I was obviously the creator of my own demise. So I need to learn that lesson, that I should work harder at the start. And I want to be old enough and like grown up enough to be able to learn that lesson now. I don't want to have to do it again. It seems ridiculous that I would have to learn this over and over again. So that's it. I
think I just learned that I am a Monday morning homework person, and like I am done trying to fight myself. I'm like, I'm never going to become a Friday night homework person.
The problem that I had is that I was a non-homework person. So I've never.
That's not an option though.
No, it is an option. You just take the punishment afterwards. I'm gonna be. This is a real thing. I have no memory of doing homework from high school. No memory. Never did it. Never did homework.
Coursework.
No, I think I just did it in the class. No, I have no. They really let me get. They recognized who I was before I did.
Then I feel like maybe you should recognize who you are.
They knew,
and then like, I think sheer willpower is maybe not going to help.
And no, because I think that if I'd had more support and guidance through that time, where I would have learnt the lesson that doing it would have actually been better for me, and I probably would have enjoyed school and felt smarter had I been guided through the process of like doing homework at set times. I was just left to my own devices. Like, I think they did me a disservice letting me just do what I wanted. They were just like, oh, that's just leave Sam to it. Like, just don't worry about it. She's just let her chat in the corner. And that didn't help as much as they think it did, because I got such a bad habit of not seeing work as important enough. So I'm trying to teach myself that lesson, that a schedule and structure and trying to get things done early. Like, I'm having to be my own teacher and my own parent. I'm going to be firm with myself and try and guide myself through it a little bit better, a little bit earlier on. I feel like I'm at a place emotionally where I can say that this is going to be okay.
Okay. That feels positive, because I feel like I remember maybe earlier this year we were talking about like the schedule for your release for this book, and you were like, oh, sort of maybe like around September 1st, and I was like, that's not a deadline, because like Amazon has a deadline, and you're like, yeah, I'll just move it if I need to, which like I would never consider. And it's like, I will be up to the deadline, but I will never miss the deadline. And so I think I'm trying to plan around that, of like, I know that I work to the deadline. It's not that I'm working to a schedule, I'm working to the deadline, and I am leaving myself enough work that makes me get it done on time.
Yeah, I think
that's super healthy.
I think that I've pushed not everyone, but I think I've pushed most pre-orders that I put up, because
I feel very stressed.
the deadline is for me, and then I know that Amazon gives you a bit of a grace period, and I take the grace period, and it's worked out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm fine. Not had my account shut down. Nothing's gone wrong. The books have gone out. So and I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I like that. That doesn't stress me out at all. I don't even really think about it. That's like a nothing problem to me. And I know that to you, that's the worst thing, like, to move a deadline. But for me, that's like neither here nor there.
There's not like no one's going to care. Like, I don't really care. Yeah. It's more just like, that is the deadline.
You see it as like failure, whereas I see it as
nature.
No, I just see that as time control. Like, like, I've got this, and I can actually change it if I have to, and I'm okay if I have to. Like, I don't punish myself. I don't feel bad for being like, oh, I'll put it just like an extra week just in case. And like sometimes I probably could have done the original date, the original time that I'd set, but I don't know, like I was ill or busy or just fumbling with other stuff, and I just like having that little cushion that Amazon gives you. Yeah, and I've taken it.
They do
like
give you a cushion.
They do. They're happy. It's not.
It's like saying you don't have to do homework, but you do have to do homework.
Well, I'm 40 years old and I'm still alive and I'm not in prison, so like, do you? I don't know.
The high bar that you've achieved there.
Yeah. I also never went. I never went to detention either.
And I got either, but that's for other reasons.
I got a detention and I didn't show up.
Surely the next step is prison. You don't go to a friend detention, straight to prison for you.
I'll tell you what worked for me. I have a sparkling personality. And
yeah,
my
I can see that.
My teachers just were okay with it. Like, and they shout at me, or they'd send me out of a class often, and I just take it. Yes, I was the girl in the hallway. I know I was a terrible student. Isn't it funny that I've chosen a career that is basically like
just study, just homework forever?
That's psychologically worrying, and I don't want to know what that means. Oh dear. Yeah. I'm really actually.
Anyway, what I would like to work on next year, I would also like you be better at saying like, this is my schedule and I'm not leaving last minute, but for different reasons. That like it's not a super healthy way to try and like make myself meet a deadline. It's just setting the minimum possible amount that means I will meet it without wasting time. But I would say I've never in my life found a better way to deal with deadlines. Like, there's no more motivating thing for me than like, that's it, you're out of messing around time, so no more messing around. I was like, well, okay, no messing around then. But until then, all the messing around, and I don't know how to not do the messing around.
Because I know my editing schedule, like my whole schedule really is not stressful. Like, I'm not. I probably could squeeze 3 books in a year, and I'd be working flat out, like just to the absolute max that I could, and I would really probably just drive myself into the ground. So 2 books a year, and the whole like process and schedule that I have for that is, it's like relaxed enough that I think like it's not. Like, it's just not stressful, and that's what I want. Like, I want something that's, I'm working to a good capacity, but I'm not killing myself, and that's my aim. Is just to like, to not kill myself. So that's why I think I have the space to change the way that I edit, because that's really my biggest problem area. Is I have the space to be better at it. Because I'm not like already like trying to like work within a tight structure. It's like I already have enough like wiggle room. Thank you. Oh my God. Brain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my worst one yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is a really good way of looking at it. I think the thing that I want to look at next year is being more responsive to my own needs. Sort of in that way, in that like I don't want to only be responsive to deadline. So I could write 12 books next year, right? Like I could write a book a month. I could write a book a month and not be super stressed. really, because I can like write a book, the first draft in like a long week, and then in 2 weeks edit it. And that's like 2 weeks where the first week is most spent messing around and like reading and like reading the book and like telling myself I should edit and then I don't edit. And then there's 1 week left over. So in theory, that's a book a month. But like to me, that sounds like there's no moving around room, as we call it.
Yeah, moving around room.
And there's no. I mean, then I sort of think like there is capacity for like getting sick and relaxing because like there's that spare week.
But
that's
that's
not true.
Not how life works. Like, I've got a week to be ill. I'll squeeze it in now. No.
No, but I could make the year be that like I'm not always writing to a deadline. As in like I could write 12 books, but not be like every book I'm writing to the day it releases.
Yes.
So that if I have weeks where I'm ill, I could wiggle that around. So I sort of don't know why I'm not going to write 12 books next year. And the reason why is because that'd be too much, right? That is the way to burn out for me, because 12 would be like at capacity. But then I think like, so I'm planning to do 9. But then this year I'm going to release 8, and 2 of those novellas, and I think 2 of those I actually wrote last year. Maybe 1.5 I wrote last year. But like, it's not an insane amount with working full time to be like doing 9. Though I do want to keep remembering like 1 is a new series. It always takes longer to start a new series, and I will have to like write and rewrite it. But I'm finding it really hard to figure out like what's the right number. And I sort of only picked 9 because I want to get to book 9 of my current series next year and then kind of put a pin in it for a while. And also I want to put out 4 books and a novella in the new series next year. And that's really how I came to 9. And then maybe that says that gives me a bit of wiggle room that I could add a 10th in if needed, if something came up. Or I could drop down, like I could drop a book. Because actually the 4 in the new series, like ignoring the novella, the 4 includes 2 releasing on one day. So I could drop down to 3 in that series and be of no consequence, kind of until much later in the year. So, but I really only made my schedule around like the numbers of books I want to write rather than the time I think I have, which I don't think is a great way to make a schedule. But I don't know a better way.
No, I'm the same. I don't understand time well enough.
Yeah.
And also like I don't have my big calendar on the wall yet, so I can't visualize next year. And I'm somebody who, when I think of time, I just think of a straight line going off in the distance. Like I don't have a calendar in my head. It's just literally a line going away. And so I can't really fully understand how things are going to work, other than I know the book that I'm writing now will definitely be released like in June. Like that's that's like definite, because I'm already in that project, so I already know where I am in the project and how time works for this particular thing. The next book, I don't know.
Book after that is out in September?
October, the next one.
Okay. Because that sounds like a very short deadline.
It is quite a short deadline, but it'll be the 3rd book in the series, so it will be like just tying things up, and I will already have planned it and everything. So I'm working on the plan for it in December, so I will already have like a beat sheet, and it'll just be like writing through the beat sheet. So like that's the thing. Like I assume that this will work, but I guess only time will tell. Because I am still just trying to figure it out. I'm not a professional at this. Like I'm a professional enough that I can do it, but I still am just trying to figure it out. And I'm okay with that. I'm happy to set the plan and to try and do the plan, and move things around if I need to, and be flexible. Gotta be flexible.
Yeah. I think this is a good like time for us to be appreciating how far we've come with this. Like it feels like we're making the schedule being like, oh, I'm just sort of guessing and messing around with stuff. It's like it's definitely based on, it's informed guessing.
Way more informed guessing than I've ever done. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I have made my schedule next year so that this December I'm spending the whole December reading books in the subgenre that I'm going to be writing in my next year for my new series. And then in January I'm writing book 1 of that series. Like even though it's not out until September, I want to write book one because I know from previous experience I'm going to rewrite the book one, and I want to have. I'm doing book two in March and book three in April, because I found it so helpful with my current series to have three books written close together. Then you can kind of go back and relook and kind of figure out what's wrong and right, and maybe even move books around if needed, or really have time to think about it. Whereas I think if I were planning this series without having done my current series, I would be writing the books closer to release. But that is foolish. That's what I did last year, and that was not a good idea.
Yes,
Because it just meant
stressed.
I was writing. I then got to be writing right up to schedule, like right up to deadline, and I would rather have more time than that. So yes, so 9 then feels like a good number.
Yeah.
Yeah, a sort of plucked from the air number, but who knows?
Yeah.
I think slightly complicated by the fact that I have kind of in my head planned it around the books I'm currently writing their length, but I think the new series is going to be slightly longer. But I don't know that it's going to be meaningfully longer in terms of like the actual time it would take me to write it. I think it should still be fine to be written in like a long week for the first draft.
Also, next year is going to be your first year of not having to do it around your day job. So you don't know.
Yeah.
Your productivity could be so much more than you even think it's going to be. So
yeah, I think my rest weeks will be more effective is one thing as well.
Yeah.
Because definitely previously that's like a thing that I've really struggled to like schedule. Then you schedule in the rest, be like, I'm still working my day job in this week. It's not that restful. And then you'll also schedule like seeing your friends that week and doing your tidying that week. But it's like if I had an actual whole week off that was a rest week, that would be restful.
Oh, just imagine. I can't even.
Yeah.
A week to do absolutely nothing. No, couldn't.
Yeah.
Never happened. One day.
I'm really looking forward
One day.
to like my reading month in December.
Yeah.
Which will feel really productive because I'm just going to do lots of reading and note taking. But it's actually a good way for me to be like, I just don't write in December. It's not for me. I don't normally do it. And like that's a schedule thing. Is like I've really paid attention to that the last few years. Even my schedule to write in December, I just don't. I schedule a lot of things in because I like Christmas, and it's with us so briefly.
This is the first year where I won't be writing in December. I'm just going to be planning in December, and I'm really actually like you say, I'm also going to do a reading month. So I am really looking forward to just having fun, just doing some fun stuff for a month.
Yeah,
that's still work, but it's like, it's not the stress work.
Yeah, it's not the like. I mean, to exaggerate, like at the coal face, you're sort of like, gotta make this good.
Yeah.
So this schedule that I wrote, so we've had this topic planned for a few weeks, but it's not been top of my mind. As maybe people have detected from listening, I never know what's coming up the next episode. I'm just surprised, even though we planned it together. So it's not top of my mind. But I was thinking about ordering my next covers, and then I was thinking like, oh, do I need to order 2 covers together? Like, how close are the book's going to be coming out? Do I need to put the next one in pre-order? When would I do that? And I literally just like sat down and wrote when it was going to be, and that feels like a real, like, that's the way that my brain is working at the moment since I'm not working. I'm not like working my day job. It's like I feel like I've got more access to those thoughts. Like, let me just spend like 10 minutes in bed in the morning, like planning out my writing year. And previously that would have been a thing I would just put off for ages and ages and ages. I'm like, I can't look at it. It's too big a job. It's too stressful trying to think about. I don't know when I'm going to write anyway. And then I would just put it off and off and off. And now I'm really trying to recognize like how it feels different to not be working, and to like, this feels like my real self. And
I'm so jealous.
Previously, I'm so sorry. But one day this will be you. But like previously, it has felt like I'm fighting against something all the time, which I was, but it wasn't clear what I was fighting against. I was just fighting against like overwhelm. And now just being able to like wake up in the morning, be like, oh, I need to think of the schedule. Actually, let me just schedule my whole year. And it didn't feel hard. It felt just like, I need to have this book ready by then, so let me work backwards. And then I've literally planned it out, and I did it not for this episode. I did it a couple weeks ago, which is just lovely.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you being in that stage, because you don't realise how much of your time I'm
Yeah.
so happy. Oh. You don't realize how much of your mental time is spent. Well, you just have to focus on doing other work, and that's just a distraction from everything you want to be doing. I just think I can't wait for you to I can't wait for your next year. I'm just so excited to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like a little preview of your own future. Like, this is how
Yes,
you
exactly.
transform.
You carved the way. Happy
Yes,
for you
let's
to
see
do
how
that.
$9 a year works.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. Yeah. I think about also like we both have our like secret passion projects we're working on. It feels like 9 books gives me time, like a little bit of gap time, maybe of an evening. So if I'm doing 12 books a year, I would be like, I'm never going to get to work on that passion project at all. I'll
Yeah.
be flat out. And 9 books a year feels like, oh, maybe I'll have like, if I get really inspired to write something, I could write a few thousand words on that and just put it away and then come back and think about it later. So yeah, it feels like a good amount that where I can get sick if I need to. I can take holiday. I can work a bit on a passion project, but also I'm building up a good number of books. That's what I want to do next year.
Yeah. 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 I think that's a good plan. And I think it'll be fine. I think we'll both be okay. But
I
you'll
hope
obviously
so.
everyone will hear if it's not going okay. Stay tuned.
Yeah, so we put it on the record what we're planning to next year. So we'll have to revisit this episode. I mean, we're coming up to our 100th episode, which I'm very excited about. That'll be a good
Unbelievable.
revisiting episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feels really good.
Yeah.
Anything else on this topic?
No, I don't think so, other than my grasp of time is both better and worse than it's ever been.
Okay. Well, growth in many ways then.
Yes.
Okay, we're doing a completely different topic next week. Next week we are doing about translations. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I was going to say no in a different language. I'll go with Russian. Yet.
Have you ever seen the film Authors Anonymous? Have I made you watch it yet?
No. I don't.
Okay.
No,
It's really
wait.
good. It's the
Who's
one
in
I
it?
talked about before, where Kaylee Cuoco is a writer.
Yes,
You know she's a
I
writer because
have
she's
watched
wearing
that.
glasses and she's
Yes.
got slightly crossed over teeth. Whenever
Yes.
someone says "niet," I think of like the "niet," not yet, the terrible romance book that's being written in that film.
Yeah.
Which, if no one has seen it, that film you can often find it on YouTube.
It was a good
unsurprisingly,
film.
it's not streaming anywhere because it's sort of good and bad.
Yeah. It's a
It's
straight
good
to
and bad in
DVD
that, like,
film.
yeah, in no way is it believable that anyone in it is a writer.
No, not at all. But it's really fun just to see like the cliches of a writers group. It's really good.
And some of them are very true. So yeah.
Yeah. But no, I don't have
I
any
will.
thoughts about translations right now. We've talked about it a lot in the past, just like probably not on the podcast, but just in general, we've talked about translations. I have thoughts on it, but I'll save them for next week. But it's probably not the thoughts that people want to hear.
Okay,
No, but
I'm so
it's not bad
intrigued.
thoughts. No, it's not
No,
bad
keep it for
thoughts.
next week.
It's just yeah, I'll keep it for next week.
I want to be
How about
surprised. Yes, I think we may put this episode on as a way to like push me forwards in getting stuff done with translations. I will get some things done before next time we speak. I have done some stuff already, so I'm going to translate through Scribe Shadow. Because otherwise I was just never planning to do translations like really at all. And I know obviously people have got strong thoughts about AI. We talk about it a lot though. So if you listen to this podcast, presumably at least moderately interested in AI. I think yes, I will aim by next week to have made some movements. Otherwise, I've got a lot of plans and I've already done some things that we can talk about anyway. But yes, I am excited by translations. I cannot think that I know excited in many other languages at all. So we'll just leave it in good old English.
Yes.
All right. For more things that we don't know, or exciting topics, come join us in the Discord. It is a link in the show notes. It is a great group, very regular chat in there, people able to ask questions that you would waste your time looking up online otherwise. So a great group and a nice place just to share things. So I shared today my pitch to my co-working space, which was really lovely, and got some lovely feedback from people. And we're going to be doing a channel in there to track your nano words. So yeah, nice little community in there. The other thing in our show notes is the link to our coffee. If you like what we do, appreciate it, leave a review somewhere. Anyway, subscribe if you're not subscribed, but also pop a few coins, digital coins, in the coffee jar, pot. No coffee. We would appreciate it. It helps us pay for the hosting and the editing of the podcast. So we will see you next week, and very much appreciate you coming with us every week, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.